I think this warm weather has energized us. Good afternoon. I'm Lori Flannery. I'm welcoming you to the February 27th meeting of the Rotary Club of Louisville. I am the president and CEO of New Directions, the president of your club, and a Paul Harris Fellow. I would like to welcome to the podium Mary Ellen Harnett. She is going to be doing our invocation today, and Mary Ellen is the vice chair of the International Service Committee.
I'd like to share a moment of reflection. Mother Teresa famously said, if you can't feed 100 people, just feed one. Sometimes when we feel overwhelmed by the ills of the world, we need to take a step back and to think about one positive action, something we can do to make a difference. We can plant seeds that will one day grow. We can water seeds already planted, knowing that they hold future promise. We can lay foundations that will need further development. We cannot do everything, but this enables us to do something and do it very well. It may be incomplete, but it is a beginning, a step along the way towards the changes we want to see.
Thank you, Mary Ellen. That was beautiful. Now for the pledge and the Rotary four-way test, I would like to invite up Hughlin Farr. He's a retired dead portfolio administrator and Paul Harris Fellow. It's like messed up my hair.
Sorry about that. For everybody. Please join me in saying I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now our four-way test.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you so much. I do want to remind everybody that if you have a device with you here today, if you will please make sure that you silence it or turn it off for the duration of the program. Now it's the time where we're going to introduce the guests that we have here today. So Rotarians, if you have a guest, if you will please come to the microphone, which is on my right and your left, and line up. All right. So Rotarians, before you start, as you introduce your guest, please state your name, introduce yourself to the club, then introduce your guest, indicating their name and affiliation. Guests, when you hear your name, please stand briefly. And I'm going to start with I have a guest here today. So would Gina Johnson please stand? Gina is my guest. She's from New Directions and she runs our spectacular iRise program. So welcome, Gina.
Here with me, and she is our marketing and design manager and extremely talented.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Julie Anderson. I am the community marketing manager with Old National Bank, and today I brought one of my partners at the bank, Troy Hayes. He runs our merchant services area.
Welcome.
President Laurie, I'm Bob Nesmith, retired. And my guest today is Arthur Cox. Arthur is the Executive Director of the St. George's Scholar Institute.
Good afternoon, President Laurie. Tom Stone, founder of Stone Legal Group. My guest today is Jennifer Williams. She is the CEO of the Middletown Chamber.
Welcome.
Vernon Foster, the Assistant Dean in the College of Business here at the University of Louisville. I am proud to bring 4 potential Rotarians in the future. They are competing for the fellows on the committee of Ashley Brower. So as our guest today, they all represent various MBA programs at the university. So we have Swernan Sunawar, Aaron Duvall, Christopher Thomas, and Catherine Thompson. Let's say it again, just make sure. It's Catherine Thompson. And Malin Michelle.
Welcome all of you.
Good afternoon, I'm Bridget Wingate. I am the Community Development Officer for Central Bank. And today I have with me Ms. Brianna Carey. She is the Executive Director of the Fuller Center for Louisville.
That's fantastic. Thank you for bringing us guests. We are excited to welcome more students from Silver Creek High School to Rotary. So we want to thank the table sponsor, Lewis Seeger with Park National Bank, for sponsoring them for today's lunch. And I would like to invite Jennifer Glazer to come to the microphone and introduce the students she brought with her here today.
Thank you, Madam President. The students would stand if I say their names. We have Dylan Cunningham, Alejandro Martinez, Jeanette Wilcoxon, Aiko Dahlman, Josh Bisam, Ari Bernard, JJ Daniel, Alex Sanchez, Evan Seal, Alec Jacobs, Stephanie Agama, Dana Kerber, Lacey Addison, and Kate Campbell. And thank you all so much for having us today. I was going to mention they brought their board game that they created. Kentucky Monopoly is over there if you want to ask them about that. That'd be wonderful. Thank you so much.
And I've purchased several of those myself in the past. Those are fun, so great job
All
with that.
names right.
Okay, guests, the next time you hear me ring the bell, that is going to mean that our meeting is adjourned. And if you will please make your way over to the What is Rotary table for just a few minutes. We want to be able to tell you a little bit about what Rotary is and what our club is all about. It won't take very long at all, and we appreciate the courtesy. Okay, we have several Rotarians in the spotlight this week. We want to congratulate Melissa Cobb, who has been selected to participate in the Leadership Louisville Alice Houston's Women's Leadership Program. So congratulations to Melissa. Congratulations to Cynthia Napak, who will be the keynote speaker at the 2025 Greater Louisville Alumni Pan-Hellenic Scholarship Brunch on Saturday, March 22nd, here at the University Club. So congratulations, Cynthia. Maggie Harlow will be honored at the March 21st Daughters of Greatness program at the Muhammad Ali Center. So congratulations to Maggie. Also a fellow board member. Congratulations to Brett Corbin, who was selected by Louisville Business First as one of the 2025 20 People to Know in Wealth Management. So congratulations to Brett. Congratulations to Rick Harnett, who was a guest speaker at the Frankfurt Rotary Club. And Rick, I don't know if you know that or not, but that's my old stomping ground. So he was a guest speaker at the Frankfurt Rotary Club meeting yesterday, and his topic was local service can be international too. So thank you for spreading your message to the other locals. And finally, congratulations to these Rotarians on the screen that were selected for the Business First 2025 Power 50. We also have several Rotary events in the works, including the Interact and Rotaract Club blood drives, the Rotary Wine Swap Party, and the Rotary Spring Fling at the Zoo. Details and registration for all of those are in links in your weekly Spark, so if you want to check that out. We also still need volunteers for the Habitat for Humanity Raise the Roof Day on Friday, March 14th. Alyssa, if you wouldn't mind to raise your hand so people can see who you are. Alyssa Gray is the person to look for if you have any questions about that or if you want to sign up. And our next session of Rotary University began this week. If you missed participating virtually on Tuesday, Dawne will be sending out a link to the recording. And you have to complete these 5 sessions and a service project if you're a new member. So please make sure that you do that, mark your calendars, talk to Dawne if you have any questions about it. And of course, these aren't limited just to the new members. They're required for the new members. But if you feel like you need a refresher on anything about Rotary or how Rotary is run, obviously you are welcome to look at those. Now, as I told you last week, we're going to have a drawing for the Russell Select Bourbon Bottle that you see over here on the table to my right. We have the names of the individuals who participated in the Magic Incentive Program, and one of those is going to be able to win this bottle. So I'm wondering if I should ask someone else to pull the name out. Jay, would you mind to do that? Of course, as you do, right? Jay Mallory. I'm sorry. All right, the winner is Renshaw Allen. How are you? Okay. Now, no, I was going to say, now, what I'd like to invite to the podium, Jay Mallory, EVP for Marketing, maybe that's right on my mind, Marketing and Business Development for Image Quest, Chair of the Membership Development and Engagement Committee, and Paul Harris Fellow to induct some new members.
Thank you, Lori. Would Dave Bell, Renee Brown, Bridget Wingate, and Club President nominee Barbara Sexton Smith please join me at the front? It's always a great day. We have some new Rotarians, right? And what a great full house today. This is amazing. Fellow Rotarians, we seek to grow our membership so we may not only increase our usefulness and influence as a club, but also extend the spirit of Rotary throughout our community. Today, it's my honor to induct, it says 2 new members, I believe it's 3 new members, right? Got it, 3 new members and 1 reinstatement. 2 new members and 1 reinstatement. There we go. Grand total. We'll get there. You've been elected to membership of this club because we believe you to be a worthy representative of your calling and to possess qualities that will permit you to exemplify in your public, business, social, and private life the true spirit of Rotary. You've not only been admitted to not only the 13th largest Rotary club in the world, but to a Rotary organization of over 46,000 clubs, where you are also welcome at any time. Rotary membership adds value to those who engage, whether by attending meetings and events, participating in service projects, or sharing your knowledge and talents as we carry out the principles of Rotary in the community. We now formally induct you as a member of the Rotary Club of Louisville, and Barbara is going to present pins and read introductions.
Okay.
All right.
All right, well, fellow Rotarian Jay, I'm pleased to announce the club as president nominee. Members, I am a member of Rotary. I know there was a little bit of confusion there on that. So let me make sure we're following those bylaws. All right, fellow Rotarians, distinguished speaker and honored guests, I'm going to introduce our 3 new members one at a time. First, to my left is Dave Bell. Dave is the Director of Development for River Heritage Conservancy, and in this role, Dave leads the fundraising efforts and provides strategy for the $150 million capital campaign to create Origin Park, which is a 430-acre urban park that is being developed on the beautiful shores of the Ohio River in Clarksville, Indiana, on the sunny side, they like to say. But the view is much better from over there. That's what Dave says in this letter. When completed, the project will attract upwards of 2 million visitors per year and have an annual economic impact on the region of more than $21 million. He is dad to 3 middle school boys who attend JCPS, and when he is not at work, you can find Dave and locate him riding his bike around the region or following his boys to all of their soccer games. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Dave Bell. have a beautiful 20-karat fake gold rotary pin for your wearing enjoyment. Congratulations. Welcome. Bridget, are you ready? Okay. Fellow Rotarians and guests, I now am going to introduce our second new member, Bridget Wingate. Bridget began her career at Central Bank and Trust Company 18 years ago and is currently the Community Development Officer. Bridget is member of the Louisville Mortgage Bankers Association, the Kentucky Real Estate Investors Association, the Greater Louisville Association of Realtors, and the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. Bridget serves as Vice Chair for the Fuller Center of Housing of Louisville and as a board member for Women in Commercial Real Estate. Bridget is a financial literacy coach and a volunteer income tax preparer. She is also the proud mother of 2 beautiful daughters and grandmother of 1 pretty amazing grandson. I think that means an extremely amazing grandson. Let me present Bridget Wingate. Bridget, wear your fabulous Rotary pin with pride and honor. Welcome. All right. Now we have a reinstatement of Renee Brown. And I've known Renee for a long time. We received an updated bio at 10:42 today. That's what happens, y'all, when y'all test Dawne at the very last moment. Ladies and gentlemen, Renee Brown is the senior pastor of Living Faith Christian Ministries and is the founder and CEO of RCP Health Corporation, which specializes in assisting physicians with their chronically ill patients. Additionally, Renee is a retired Army officer and disabled combat veteran who served 3 tours of duty in combat and was twice awarded one of the highest honors in the military for bravery and meritorious service, the Bronze Star Medal. Renee was... Ray has been appointed by former Governor Matt Bevin and Governor Andy Beshear to serve a number of terms as on the Board of Directors for the Kentucky Higher Education Assistance Authority and the Student Loan Corporation. These are the organizations that provide more than $1 billion in student loans throughout all 120 counties of the Commonwealth. He served as chairman of the Board for Diversity for the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Renee is a 2014 Bingham Fellows and a returning member to our club and a Paul Harris Fellow. Renee previously served on the board of directors of our club. And I saved the best for last. He is married to the one and only Miss Fabulous herself, Carolyn. Carolyn, please stand. And I asked Renee what Carolyn did with her time, and he said she is co-pastor, but he is listed as senior pastor, so I think that makes you, Carolyn, pastor extraordinaire. Renee, let me present to you the fabulous Rotary pin, which we hope you will wear with pride, and every time someone asks any one of you about your pin, please tell them to come visit us at the Rotary Club of Louisville. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jay and Barbara, and congratulations to our new Rotary members. We are thrilled that you are part of our club. Now, I would like to invite to the podium Susan Cepeda, Chair of the Service Projects and Grant Development Committee, Co-Chair of the District Rotary Friendship Exchange Committee, 2021-2022 Lifetime Service Award winner, and major donor.
Thanks so much, President Lori. Throughout the year, people come to this podium to ask you to give generously to the Rotary Fund here in our club and the Rotary Foundation in Evanston that serves the world. My time today is going to be spent telling you how to get some of that money back for the important projects that your committees are doing. This is a time to start paying attention to it, and if you miss the various trainings that you'll need to have, they're available online in the club's Google Drive and in Dropbox, and we'll be posting links in Sparks, won't we, Jolene? And we'll be sending an email to committee chairs, so you can't miss it. But please remember, all applications, whether it's for our club's money, whether it's district funds, whether it's global grants, they're all online now. The deadline for online applications for our club's funds, May 30th. The deadline for applications for the 2 district grants that we're usually allowed to get is August 30th. If you currently have a project that's wrapping up, we need to also get your online final report. If that project is a district project or a global grant, we'll take whatever you send them as your final report. You don't have to do a separate one. And if your project's not going to be finished by June 30th, we do need to get a report online again, requesting a continuation of support for that project into the new year. So May 30th, August 30th, year-round for global grants. You put the money in, now get the money out for your important work. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Susan. All right, now I'd like to invite to the podium Ashley Brower. Ashley is the founder and CEO of Max Strategic Communications, chair of the Speakers Committee, co-chair of the Leadership Fellows Committee, 2022-2023 Rotarian of the Year, and Paul Harris Fellow to introduce today's speaker.
Thank you, President Lori. It's an absolute honor today to introduce someone who not only informs our community but uplifts us every single day, Dawne G. As a proud Louisville native, Dawne has dedicated more than 3 decades to broadcast journalism, becoming a trusted voice in our homes and a champion for our city. Beyond the news desk, Dawne's heart for service shines. She's received countless honors from Kentucky Humanitarian of the Year at the Muhammad Ali Humanitarian Awards, to the Keepers of the Dream Freedom Award for exemplifying the ideals of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And in 2010, she was Louisvillian of the Year. The list is super long. In true Dawne fashion, she doesn't just report on the issues, she takes action. Her nonprofit, A Recipe to End Hunger, tackles food insecurity head-on, helping children, families, and even their pets get the support they need. Here are some fun facts about Dawne, and I didn't know all of these. She truly loves horror movies, like being scared out of her wits. I did not know that you ran the Olympic torch relay in 2002 in Salt Lake City. She represented the Commonwealth. She's received more than about 24 Best of Leo Reader's Choice Awards, and she's emceed right now about 200 events annually. Before the pandemic, 250. We did the math times 30 years at 6,000 events. Dawne, how much money does that mean you've raised for the community? She said, I don't know, but just A Recipe to End Hunger has raised $500,000. So we thank you. And she does that all while anchoring the news on May 3rd every day. So Dawne, your passion, generosity, and unwavering love for this community are truly inspiring. Having worked with you, I know firsthand the impact you have, not just through your reporting, but through the kindness and energy you bring to everything you do. Please join me in welcoming Dawne G.
I know I drove Ashley absolutely crazy because she was like, what are you going to speak about? I was like, I don't know, whatever. That's kind of what I do, whatever, right? You know, I said, it'll come from my heart. And she says, What will you call it? I don't know, whatever. So I drove her absolutely crazy. It will come from my heart, it'll kind of be whatever. But I guess I do speak everywhere. And I was so excited when I came in to see so many of my friends that I run to, that I drop things off to. People call me with the craziest things, and I always tell people, throw nothing away, right? Because somebody can use it. I mean, I was looking at the Fuller Center. I mean, why do I have granite countertops? Why would somebody call me with granite countertops? I'm a news anchor. But I don't care, I take them and I give them to the Fuller Center. And so, Cabbage Patch, a lot of people are here. And when I get things, I even bought a truck. I went to purchase a truck because I can't fit it in my car. And I said, I'll just buy a truck. That way I can put it in the truck. So that's what I did. But I guess it was around 27 years ago. I don't know if anybody from Dare to Care is here. I work with them an awful lot. They asked if they could come on the morning news and talk about children that don't have enough to eat. And sure, of course you can. And it was just a segment, although important for me then. Ashley, don't forget to time me because I don't have to go and do anything on the news until 2, and they can find somebody to, sit in for me. So. Just saying. And so it was important. I was with a guy named Chris Parente. I don't know if anybody remembers him. We were crazy. But we had them on, and they talked about hunger with children. They do the Miles in My Shoes walk for Jefferson County Public Schools. And last year there were 3,600 homeless children. There were far more than that. That's just the number that they counted. But we talked about that. We talked about children not having food and what it was like. And so Dare to Care was raising money, and we were talking about that and how you could give. And so I decided, and they used to tell me all the time, peanut butter was one of the best things that you could give. Do you know why you give peanut butter? Very good, protein. Because the protein in peanut butter is almost as much as meat, right? And what's the other reason? Well, okay, they may like it, very good, all right. Everybody likes peanut butter. But you don't have to refrigerate it. Right, if you're homeless, it's not like you have this wonderful refrigerator, right? And so I decided, okay, I'm gonna collect peanut butter. Well, I was doing my best, but here's where you just never know what you do when somebody's watching. I cry all the time, I'm perfectly fine. So, over in Indiana, I had no idea that there was a little 5-year-old girl watching. Her name was Shannon Hodge, and I hadn't seen her lately. She's grown now. So she went and got this little box of pennies that she was collecting for a Barbie, and she came scooting in that morning, sat the box on the table, and her mom said, Shannon, pennies, back in your room. We're not going through this again. You do not have enough for a Barbie. We're not going through it. She said, I don't want the Barbie. And her mom said, what's pennies doing back in here? And she said, I want to feed the hungry kids. Her mom was not paying attention, didn't hear about the hungry kids. She said, what hungry kids? And she said, the people on the news were talking about the hungry kids. And she was like, hungry kids? And she's like, yeah, on the TV, on the news. And she said, well, what do you want to do? And she said, take my pennies and get as many canned goods as I can. Wow. Outstanding to me that a 5-year-old can get that, right? So her mom was like, are you kidding? This 5-year-old is determined. So she's like, okay, so they go to the little pig pack, and she wants to take her pennies. She takes her pennies and dumps them out on the little register with the lady. So she explains to the little lady what she wants to do. So they're counting all these little pennies, right? And the manager comes up and he's like, what the heck is going on? Why are these pennies on my counter? So they tell him. So he tells her, for every canned good you get, I'll double it. So my day has gone on. I'm doing other things. I'm busy. And our receptionist says, there's someone here to see you. And I said, I don't have any meetings. And they said, no, there's someone here to see you. And I said, I don't have any meetings. And they said, no, you're coming up here. So I'm like infuriated, like I don't have any meetings. I go up there and here's this little soul, like yay high, and her mom with her little canned goods. And I get up here and I'm like, what is this about? And she explains to me the whole thing. I save my pennies, I don't need the Barbie, and this is the canned goods, and I want to feed the hungry kids, and my breath is taken away. So I say to her, do you want to go on TV with me? Because I had a talk show. She is not like you all. She was excited. She said, yeah, let's do this. And so we go on, and for her to be so little, she explained it pretty well. I don't need the Barbie. I want to feed the kids, and she talked about sometimes I throw my food away and I don't like what my mommy cooks. And she just goes on and on. Again, I think I'm done. Well, just like I rolled up today, Ashley told me to be here at 11:45. I did my best. I rolled in pretty close. I'm always, I won't call it late, but on time with a purpose. And so we had a show, we used to go out in the public. We had a show out in the public, and it was on, what street is Lex? Blankenbaker. It was on Blankenbaker. It was a pancake house or something. We were live there. When the cameras come on, you better be in front of that camera, right? So I rolled into this parking lot, and it was crowded. And I'm like, surely this place is not that good. There was not, I mean, come on. There was not a parking place. There was not a parking place. There was not a parking place. There were a couple of buses. I parked illegally. I went running in to make it just on time, but when I came in, it was literally standing room only. All these children with pennies and peanut butter. It was amazing to me that this one little girl had done what she wanted to do, right? And had spurred everyone else. I almost couldn't talk the whole show. This was me. And it floored me. It floored me. By the time we were done, we had a truckload full of peanut butter. Truckload. It was insane. Have you ever seen like 64,000 jars? It was crazy. Because goodness spreads, right? Yeah. Goodness spreads just as much as bad does. So we need to be about the business of good. And so that just amazed me. But it brought to mind as well just what do these little ones do when they don't eat, you know? And we expect them to be able to go to school and be good and to mind. My daughter is a teacher. She's the best teacher in the world. She is. I don't know why you're laughing. Because she is. And when she graduated, her first position was at Farmer Elementary. Farmer was new. It was beautiful, and so I would go and take the office brownies and different things like that, and I love this school because, you know, if it's my daughter's school, it's my school too. And so I got there and she said, Mom, I put in for a transfer. I said, where are we going? And she said, I'm going to a Title I school. Do you know what a Title I school is? Title I school is a poverty school. At least 40% of the school has to be in poverty. She transferred to Dancy Bay, like 99%. And I went, whoa, hey, what? Wait a minute, let's talk about it for a second. It's on Cedar. Okay? I said, why are we doing this? My daughter said, the kids here don't need me. She said, I need to be with children who have obstacles to being something in life, who have no wind beneath their wings, who even to the color of their skin don't think they can make it. By the time she was done, I was sobbing, going, yes, we're moving. So that's where we are. And the weird thing is, my daughter always says, I hope I get to teach today. And one day I asked her, what's that mean? I hope I get to teach today. I said, you say that all the time. She has to make sure children are safe. She has to make sure that they're fed. She has to make sure, you know, that their water and that their lights are on. I could tell you things, and I'm not going to. I could truly tell you things that would shake your soul. And there are days when things are going on and she says, Mom, you can't come in. Why? Because of this. And she says, you cannot cry in front of my children. You can't, that's what she said. You can't break down like this. I'm making them strong. You can't break down like this. But they're so funny because I always say when they do things bad, I go, just let them go outside. It was a little thing. Let them go outside. And she goes, no, Mom, they messed up. This is how it is. Nobody's going to give them a break when they're 30 years old. You know, they don't get to go outside. So I saw one of the little kids in the office, and I said, Dante, what are you doing in here today? He said, Grandma G, you know, sometimes I don't always make the best choices. It just cracked me up. So I said, okay. But it's amazing what not having food will do to a child. It is not just an empty stomach. It literally changes their brains, their bodies, everything. It changes them emotionally, physically, spiritually. It never fails that I will go out and speak about hunger, and there will be a, you know, big guy way in the back, and I know they're waiting on me, and they'll say to me, I was that hungry child. It is amazing to me. Physicians' offices now have pantries. Did you know that? Physicians' offices. Because they said when the kids come in sick and they see the same kids over and over, it's not because they've caught a bug. It's not because they have a disease. It's because they don't have food in the home. And so that child gets sick. Blessings in a backpack. I support them as much as I possibly can. As a matter of fact, one of my next things will be a children's cookbook for kids to cook. My first cookbook was for Dawne Care. We raised a little over $100,000 for them. So fingers crossed we'll do the same for Blessings in a Backpack. But it will be a children's cookbook, and then it will have a cookbook that will accompany it, and it will be a cookbook that will have family recipes in it, because I just think we don't sit down as a family enough anymore. That's when you find out how everybody's doing, you know, maybe what's not going so right. So those would be the two things that I'm working on, but physicians' offices now have pantries, because that is what is making the children sick. Blessings in a backpack. When they give those backpacks to the children, if they don't have the backpacks, then that's at least 48 hours that they don't eat. Here's the crazy thing. They get free lunch and free breakfast right now. They don't show up on Monday. You would think they would show up on Monday, right? Because they're going to get free lunch and free breakfast. But they're sick. That harms them even more, because now they're not going to get that free breakfast and that free lunch. But the reason they're not there is because they're sick, because they didn't have anything to eat. So the blessings in a backpack sends that backpack home so they have something. You know, it ain't a steak dinner with a potato, but it's something. It is something. And my mom was a principal, and my mom would tell me that kids would be standing there waiting for their blessings, and she would go, "Isn't your bus leaving?" And they go, "I'm not going anywhere until I get my blessings in a backpack." They would miss the bus, not going anywhere. And then the little ones, because they don't have it for high school, would say, "Is there any way I could get some for my brother?" They don't have blessings for high school, and then that's when you find the older ones turning to other means to get what they want or what they need. My oldest son and I, we sit and talk about this stuff all the time. He said, crime is not as simple as people make it, Mom. He said, it's not as simple as people make it. So it's just unbelievable to me. I started my nonprofit because what? Somebody said, "Hey, will you come and host something for us?" I said, "Absolutely." So I went. And here's the thing. This is my ignorance, all right? It was, I'm pretty sure, in Prospect. And it was, they were raising money to feed people. Their kids that did art made bowls, these pretty little clay bowls. The culinary students made soup. Okay, well, they're raising money, I'm guessing, for, I don't know, maybe like I do, blessings or Dare to Care or whatever. And so I'm there to make sure everything goes along and goes well. And so the teacher says to me that one of the little ones asked for more soup. Absolutely. But he says to her in a very proud voice, very proud, whispering, "I know how to keep my stomach from hurting when we don't have food." Now, you know not to ask a child anything, because they're going to tell you the truth, right? They will be brutally honest. She said, "How?" He said, "I eat paper." This is in my backyard. So I do what I always do when I'm like this. I went outside and I called my mama. And I cried, and she said, "What are you supposed to be doing?" I said, "I'm supposed to be emceeing." And she said, "I tell you what, this is the rule. She said, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. That's all I get. Only time I didn't have 5 minutes is when I had my stroke. I got a little more. She said, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. You get it together, you figure out what you're gonna do, and then you get in there and you do the job that you were called to do. And she said, you understand? Yes, ma'am. So she let me cry for about another 3 minutes. And then I went back in. That little boy stayed with me on the pew at church, at work. He just stayed with me, and I said, she said, I gotta figure this out. I can't figure this out. I don't know that I have figured it out. And then I started thinking about my family. My family eats when we are happy. We eat when we are bored. We eat when we are sad. If you've ever watched my Facebook, you know my family eats. And a recipe to end hunger. That's where the name and our first cookbook came from. This is our first cookbook. I bothered a lot of people, Jennifer Lawrence, Al Roper, Muhammad and Lonnie Ali. I bugged people like you wouldn't believe, and it became a bestseller on Amazon. I was like, what is going on? Amazing. And we gave all the money to Dare to Care. I just said, put their bank number on it, I don't even want to see it. I didn't see the money. Went straight to them. But we do crazy things to raise money. We just raised money for the community area ministries. There are 13 of those. Do you all know them? Okay. I worry because so many people don't know about them, but there is a community area ministry in every single neighborhood, and they're there to help people who are struggling. And we, living in the neighborhood, should, if we can, try to stop by every month. I don't know, give 10 canned goods, because maybe your neighbor wouldn't tell you that they're hungry. Maybe they would go to community area ministries, and then at least they would have those canned goods there to help your neighbor, right? I'll go on with this for forever and ever and ever. But that's how I started that little kid. And then I thought, who's hungry in Prospect, right? Same thing happened. I did an event, and it was a dance event, and there was a woman dancing because their pantry needed a new refrigerator, and it was in LaGrange. And I was like, you got a pantry in LaGrange? And she said, see, that's what people do. There are people hungry in LaGrange. And that's my ignorance. That's ignorance, pretty much, right? Ken Savaji and I were at an event Saturday, and we were sitting having lunch, and a lady just scooted her chair up real close to me, and she said, I am having a time today. And I was like, why? And she was like, there are 2 little kids at our school, and she said, we know that they are hungry, and we just don't know what to do. And she said they were taken away from their parents, and we had a whole conversation about it. I'm still not sure what you do about these children, because I don't know how the family that has them now is going to take to you setting food on their door. They might, how will they take? I don't know. So we'll talk about it. I don't know. And she talked about those kids. She knew they were hungry. She knew they were hungry. I don't know. I saw a mom at Franciscan Kitchen. Go in, go out. Go in, go out. And I thought, what is she doing? And I was feeding at the time. She had one on her hip, one she had holding the hand. And I thought, what is she doing? I saw her in and out at least 3 times. And then I thought, okay, I'm going over. I said, hey. And she looked at me. She started going out again. I'm, nah, give me the baby. So I took the baby. I said, what are you doing? I said, come on in and eat. She said, I am so ashamed. Do you know Franciscan Pigeon? Okay. She said, I never thought I would be here. This is where I have to feed my girls? I said, no, this is a blessing. This is where you get to feed your girls. Come on. I'll take one. You take one. Let's sit down and eat. And that's what we did. And just, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, I was talking to Alexander, that's my youngest son. I'm so bothered by this. And I'm driving out of the parking lot at Wade. And we're just talking because that's what we do. I talk to that child 82 times a day. It's amazing. One day he's going to grow up and realize he doesn't have to talk to me. But we're talking and I see this woman. I can tell that she's frustrated. She's slinging a little child around. She has like a, maybe, I don't know, 9 or 10 month in a bass cart that's filled with what I call junk, but I don't get to do that because it's not my stuff. And they're dirty. All 3 of them are dirty. And I thought, Lord, let me ignore her. She was going that way. I turned that way. And I said to my son, you need to know what I'm getting ready to do. I just saw a lady with 2 babies in there. One's in a bass cart, and I don't think I can ignore her, so I'm going to have to go back. And I don't know what's going to happen, so I need you to know where I am. If you don't talk to me in about 2 hours, you need to come find me. And she said, Mama, you can't save everybody. And I said, no, Mary Ellen, can't serve everybody, but I'm going for this one. I'm going for this one. So I stopped, and I know I got to finish. I stopped, and I talked to her. And she said, well, I need some money to feed my kids. I said, okay. I said, do you use drugs? What do you think she said? Yeah. I said, you know I ain't gonna give you no money. I never give money. I'll feed you all day long. I'm not gonna give you money. We sat and talked a long time. She talked about how tired she was. We talked about everything. I wrote down every little thing I knew about where she could get help. Coalition for the Homeless used to have a homeless directory that would tell people where they could go, where they could get their teeth cleaned and all of that. But anyway, I told her I was going shopping for her, and that's what I did. A lot of the stores were closed then though, because it was after 8. Everything now after COVID closes as soon as the sun goes down. But I went to a store and I got her as much as I could, and I had to drive around after I came back because she didn't stay in that place, but I did find her. And she laid out this dirty little blanket they had, and we put food down, and the kids ate. And the little boy was just so happy, the one who was about 3, and he was running around eating the things that I had gotten him. But I cannot imagine what that life must be like with babies on the street. It rocks me to my core. Okay. I'm with Mary Ellen. Help whoever you can help. Do what you can do. And you never know who's watching you, that good might go somewhere else. That's it. That's all. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dawne, for being here with us today and everything that you bring to the community. It is time now for Rotarians who are interested in asking questions of our speakers. Please line up behind me at this microphone. I think Dawne says she has a few minutes and she'll be happy to answer some questions. You do need to make sure that you abide by the Q&A rules that are on the screen. Thank you.
Hello, Dawne. Not only did you cry a lot,
time I go to one of your areas and you're speaking. This never holds all the tears.
Well, you know, sometimes we cry together too.
That's
You know,
right.
I love you, so.
But as a past woman of distinction that you are, and I have had that pleasure from the Center for Women and Families, what you've done and what you continue to do in this community that's so widespread that we have to expect that let's not talk about it, let's do something about it. But thank you with great passion that you've given to all of us. We need that, but we need to take action. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Dawn, Kid Grossman, thanks for your passion. I'll take a hug.
How are you?
So Dawn spoke to another group I'm involved in a couple months ago, and it was about the time you had your auction for the community area ministries.
Yes.
And I got this incredible Dan Dry painting from it.
Yeah.
And it was a shame because not that many people knew about the auction. I don't know what you can do to promote it better, but it was good for me because I love the painting. But you also talked a little bit, and you mentioned it today, but how the community area ministries, how do we find those if we wanted to get involved with those? What would that involve?
Yeah, so the community area ministries on my 60th birthday, I had my birthday party for them because my mother wanted to have a birthday. Lord knows I don't need anything. So I said, let's have a birthday party for them. So that was the first one. And then you benefited from the second one. That was my 62nd birthday. And I say it on the air. I put it on my Facebook. I do everything but march down Broadway. And everybody was saying the one that we had was on the, I don't know anything about football, same day as the opening of the football season. I was like, I don't care. But anyway, so we had over 236 items, but this is how you find your community area ministries. You can go to communityareaministries.org. If you put your zip code in, it will tell you your ministry. Make sure I'm right about it. If somebody can make, I think it's communityareaministries.org. But you have to put your zip code in, and it will tell you your ministry. They need volunteers. They need people to work in the pantry. They need everything that you could imagine a nonprofit would need. And they work very hard. And it's amazing to me. People call me and they need help. And I said, do you know where your community area ministry is? They have no idea. Which is one of the reasons why I help them. Because I feel so guilty. I'm sending 832 people a week to them. I need to do something, right? So that's another reason why I try to raise as much money as I can. But you know, we should be doing something, and a lot of people just don't even know they exist. But there's one in every neighborhood in the metro. Yes, ma'am?
It's LouisvilleMinistries.org.
LouisvilleMinistries.org. Sorry about that. LouisvilleMinistries.org. Yeah.
Can I ask one more question?
You can. I'll give you special dispensation.
So this is kind of on another topic. I know John Bowles retired.
Yes,
So do you have a good John Bowles story?
Well, yeah. He's so funny. He comes in like Grumpy Cat every day. It's so funny when John Bull comes in. He comes in like this. He's very quiet. He doesn't talk to anybody. He does it. And then after his first show, he's the funniest person in the world. I don't know what that is about. I don't know what it's about, but he is retiring. He's retiring tomorrow. So it's really weird. And I told him, I'm glad you're first, because you're going to teach me how to retire. Like, come on, Bo. Show me how to do it.
Hi, Dawn. My name is John Bush. I've been a member of this club since 1993. I was the president.
Can't hear you.
Turn up the volume. My name is John Bush. I've been a member of these clubs since 1993. I was fortunate to be the president's club 2009, 2010, which of course was right after the crash in 2008. And even for a club like this, funds were limited at that time. But we had one gift that we could make of any size, and it was a $10,000 gift. We chose to give it to what was then a brand new organization called Blessings in a Backpack. And it is a fine organization. I'm so glad that you're so passionate about it. But I wanted to just look, to tell you that I'm one of the people in this room, because many of you all were not in the club at that time, and even if you were, you may not remember. But that was the one kind of extra gift that we were able to get together to give, and we were so glad to do it to help it get really kind of started at that time. So thank you for all that you do. Thank you for coming in today and sharing your passion and your compassion with all of us. We appreciate it. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Even if you're a business in the neighborhood, like there may be a school in your neighborhood, and you can sponsor backpacks that way if you want to. You can do it any way you want to.
Hello, Dawne.
How do you do?
I'm well. Kevin Fields
I
here.
know.
Good to see you again. Thank you for today, and also thank you for being our 2009 honoree for the Lyman T. Johnson
Yes,
Distinguished
sir.
Leadership Award, which is the highest honor presented by Louisville Central Community Center. So thank you for that. And also, I want to take you back to 2012. I think the month was February, and you were a roving reporter, and you covered a shooting incident around 32nd in Kentucky. You would recall that, right? Because I remember you reporting on that and talking about that a few times. And you touched on community violence earlier in your remarks. This club has a committee led by Fred Cowan and several other Rotarians that are on that committee, where we're really looking at this whole issue of violence. It's just based on your experience as a news reporter and having that firsthand experience in that mass shooting incident, going back, a number of years ago. What would you tell us today about your perspective on this issue of community violence?
I mean, everything is just different now. We're not kind to each other at all, most of the time. I mean, it amazes me. Like, even if I let you in traffic, you don't even say thank you. Like, say thank you. We don't even do that. Just simple things, just to be kind to each other. It amazes me that 13-year-olds now are being arrested for murder. Do you know why that is? Because if they're in a gang or hanging out with the older boys, let's get him to kill them. Why? He doesn't spend that much time. He's 13. Right. So if we initiate him into doing it, he's 13. He's not going to get that much time, and he's dumb enough to do it because he just wants somebody to love him and to be part of something. He wants to feel like he belongs. I mean, and then so many people don't have anything. I mean, there's a million reasons. I don't have the answer. But I can tell you, number one is people don't have what they need. Number two, we're not kind to each other. And number three, the breakdown of the family is amazing to me. I couldn't get away from my family if I bought a ticket to Greece. Couldn't do it. Could I? Could I get away from my family? No, I couldn't. The breakdown of the family, and I don't know, whose fault is that? I don't know. I don't know. See, I can't tell you because my mother, I'm surprised my mother's not sitting here now. Only reason why she's not is I didn't tell her I was coming.
Thank you so much for your message. And I will just say I have a little bit of connection with community ministries as well through the work that I do with New Directions. And you're right, they are so important in helping people with hunger. Claire Wallace is a longtime person who serves one of the community ministries, one of the 13, but she's also kind of the unifying force, so that's another person that can connect you to try to figure out how best you can help. And I heard her speak once. She obviously talked about helping people access nutrition and food, but one of the things I remember that she talked about the most was the fact that you wouldn't believe the number of children who are embarrassed to go to school because they don't have the proper clothes. Some of them don't have underwear. And it's embarrassing to them emotionally. So there's all kinds of ways that you can contribute to community ministries, and I appreciate you highlighting that. Next week, our speaker is going to be Dr. Eli Capilouto. He is the president of the University of Kentucky. If you are interested in being here, and I hope you will be, you need to register before noon on Monday, or you can use the QR code that's on the screen before you leave today. I'm going to ring the bell in a minute, so that's to remind the guests. Please make your way over to the What is Rotary table for just a few minutes to get an overview of our club. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. We are adjourned.